What is up, guys? This is Darren and Josh. Thank you for joining the training. We're going to get started here in about 60 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and start up the presentation. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of people that just joined. Nice.
How we going, guys?
Very exciting. All right, guys, we're going to do a quick tech test. Make sure that you can hear and see us okay. If you don't mind finding the chat and just saying a quick hello, we're going to be getting going here in about, I'd say, another minute or two. But I want to know if everybody can see and hear us. It looks like Marilyn, Wayne, Ian,
how you going, mate?
Dominica, Jeff, Brian Fitzpatrick.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, guys?
Big crowd. This is the pressure's on this time, Darren.
I know. No, there's no pressure. This is good. Wow.
Everyone looks fired up after the big weekend. So hopefully now you'll know, after this training, you'll know how to use our tools to completely find that new product. So you'll be a Zonguru software expert after this training. That's the plan. Exactly. Yeah, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I was telling John, it's so cool how. Yeah, I'll be honest. I was bummed out when we found out that we weren't gonna go to Australia, but be at the summit, because each year, for me at least, it's kind of a bit of a brainwash. I leave feeling extra motivated and like I'm ready to go, not only on my Amazon business but with life. And I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to capture that emotion virtually, and they did. I mean, the last day ended and we were on cloud nine. So what an incredible weekend, and we hope that we can keep it going. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and fire it up. I do want to just lay down a couple of house rules. Because there's so many attendees right now, it's going to be difficult for us to discern the difference between comments and questions. You will notice, though, down at the bottom of the chat, you have the ability to switch between chat mode and Q&A mode. So if you have a question for the end, we'll be doing a Q&A at the very end of the presentation and the demo. Just make sure to mark it as a question. We'll do our best to get to as many questions as we can, but because there's such a big audience, we might have to answer some questions tomorrow in tomorrow's training, and then also just via support. Cool. You ready, Josh? Yeah, let's get into it. Excited.
All right. Sweet. Okay, guys, let me make our faces a little bit smaller. That's good. Okay, cool. So this is the day one of the 3-day Zonguru software training. Day one is going to be focused on all things product research. So we're going to be showing you how to use the Niche Finder tool to generate ideas, how to use the Niche Rater to validate those ideas, how to use SalesBy to look into the past, understand seasonality, and just really get into the details of our tool set and how the data can lead you down the right path. But also, Josh and I have been demoing the new tools for a little while now. But as we were preparing our presentation, we wanted to make sure that we find a really, really badass product opportunity to demo. And we're going to be using this product, which I think is quite good for a lot of different reasons, which we'll get into as kind of the common thread for day 2 and day 3 as well. So let us know in the chat. Just give us a big yes, that sounds great, or a thumbs up. Awesome. And I already see one question. I know that this is going to get asked a lot, so this will be the only question that I answer up front. Yes, there's going to be a recording of this, and it will be emailed to you a few hours after this is finished. So hopefully, what's up, Nicola? I also want to say hi to you as well. So yeah, you guys will get a recording. Awesome. Let's dive in. So who the heck are we? For those of you that don't know us, my name is Darren. He's Josh. And we are Amazon sellers, reliable education graduates, and Zonguru experts. I've been with the company for the last about 4 years and have been side by side with John and Adam, both being mentored by them, but then also, obviously helping with the tools and launching products under their advice. And, we're also just kind of business entrepreneurs. I've been in and out of corporate America, and then also starting my own companies. So, between the two of us, we have a lot of breadth of knowledge between Amazon products, business, and of course, ZonGuru. And of course, we're just two cool guys. Hopefully, by the end of this, you guys will feel like we're, approachable, chill people that you don't feel, that you like. That's the goal. Hopefully, you guys like us. That's pretty uncool to say, I'm sure. Okay, cool. So I'll just cover really quickly the day one agenda here. The goal is to get through this in about 45 minutes to an hour between the presentation and the demo. And then we'll open it up to Q&A, and we'll stick around for a Q&A as long as we possibly can. And yeah, so we're going to start with, just the basics. Basically, how do you, do effective product research? I will say between Josh and I, we probably have each, at least 1,000 hours of product research under our belts. We not only do research for our own product lines, but also for ZonGuru. Josh heads up our product research team that does all the product research for our Instagram channel, YouTube. I do the unboxing videos on our YouTube channel as well. So we know this space. So we're going to be showing you some of the tactics that we use to do effective research. We're also going to be deep diving into the checklist, which you'll see that Josh just stickied in the chat. Excuse me. That is a document that you should have gotten after signing up for the summit offer. And it's going to be, again, another common thread throughout the next 3 days. We're going to try to, the idea is to have a row completely full with a good product opportunity that hopefully is so good that you can take it to your mastermind or business partners and begin to share and talk about. And then again, we're just going to be focusing on it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Make sure that everyone just clicks on that link and actually at some stage and downloads that sticky link of the checklist. The first one that we sent out didn't have some of the descriptions of each title attached to it. This is the one that you want to make sure you have. So if you got the checklist straight away and it doesn't have the explanations of what each column is, you'll be able to find it in this sticky link above.
Perfect. Cool. So the three main things we're going to be focusing on is using the niche finder to generate an idea, using the niche reader to validate that idea, and then using SalesPy to look into the past and understand seasonality and how much you need to consider when, how much stock you need to consider ordering when you are ready to reach out to a supplier. We'll be doing a live demonstration of a really cool product that we found. And then we want to make sure that you have all of the resources, the free resources that we produce for our customers as well. So we'll be just kind of checking off some of those boxes, and we'll open it up to the Q&A.
Cool.
All right, Josh, you're the expert in research right now. Why don't you go ahead and cover this?
All right, guys. So before we even jump into any of the product research, there's a few things that we need to make sure that you're all aware of. We need to understand the theory, and ZonGuru has the niche rater method, which is our version of what we deem to be a good product. So we'll jump into that in a little bit further, but it essentially comes down to 4 different categories that our product must meet before we decide to go ahead with it. We'll be talking about setting goals. So setting goals is really important, but sometimes as new sellers and entrepreneurs, we want to set these big goals. I want to have a $100,000 product, or I want to sell my business like Adam's brochure for $1 million or something like that. But that's a really big milestone that could be a bit unattainable. John Tilley, our CEO, really likes to put it down to, let's start with minor stones. So let's have all these little minor stones that build up to a big milestone that once you complete all these, we'll tackle those big milestones without having overwhelm. A minor stone may be something like getting an hour of product research done a day, reaching out to 4 different suppliers to order samples, filling out the checklist. These are all minor stones that will get you on your way to figuring out those full milestones. You need to reduce the obstacles to searching and be consistent. So what does that mean? An hour a night product research is better than 3 hours on one night and not going back to it for a week. So consistency will keep you up to speed, and you'll get better at trying to identify those new products, but also put the phone away. An hour of research with the phone in the hand might as well be no research at all. Go down some interesting rabbit holes. So what does that mean? Amazon is a platform that is there for buyers. So it's going to be showing you products as you're researching that it thinks based on your searches you may purchase. If Amazon starts showing you products that you didn't type in your keywords, it's showing you products that it thinks you might buy because of previous sales history. Click on those products, even if you don't know what they are. Dive into them and see if they're a potential product. Put them in the checklist, and just don't be scared to click on random products that you've never heard of and do some research into those. Use the Niche Finder to generate ideas. So a new tool, the Niche Finder, is amazing for searching the whole of Amazon based on your set criteria, and it will give you a list of a huge amount of potential products. Once you've generated your idea, we want to use our other tools to make sure that this is a solid idea and is definitely a worthwhile product to chase down on Amazon. Don't overthink it. Have some fun. This is a business that you're going to be in for the long term. So look for products that you're interested in. Use filters to search for things that are your hobbies or things that you're interested in. It'll help you down the track when it comes to marketing, things like that. And when you have those tough times to push through because you're actually super passionate about the product. And if you're still struggling, use the internet to spark an idea. I do product research every day, hours and hours a week. Definitely I run out of ideas, and I'm not ashamed to say that I've Googled what's the top 10 hottest products of March 2020 before. So do that. You never know what could happen. They may show you some interesting products that you can put through the ZonGuru filters and just spark some ideas on what could be a potential product. All good, guys.
Awesome. Very good, Josh. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with all those points. And also using the internet to spark an idea too. Once you feel like you found a great product, also, using Pinterest, using Google Images to see, if there are any sellers selling similar products that aren't on Amazon yet. And maybe if you can bring those ideas to market. We're going to be actually employing that strategy a little bit later. Cool. So I don't want to get into the weeds too much here because a lot of this was already covered at length throughout the weekend. But what are we looking for here? John said it best when we're looking for a niche within a niche, right? Honestly, gone are the days of selling a garlic press, a fidget spinner, and hoverboards, right? You now need to find products that are, more creative, more niched down, and, undiscovered or untapped from a potential perspective. So, this isn't particularly hard once you begin to put on your creative thinking hat and you have the tools at your disposal. But, the goal here is not to necessarily hit it out of the park with a 6-figure a month seller right away. We're looking for a product that's generating at least $10,000 or more per month in gross revenue, which, the average seller sits at about a 30% margin. So that puts $3,000 of profit into your pocket each month on a single product at the bare minimum, which is $36K per year net off of that single product. I picked this product here. This is, I'm sure most of you guys have already seen the first product in the perfect product checklist or the e-guide that we put together, which I thought was very, very cool. And I like this product because it checks off the boxes at a minimum. That does 10,000 in revenue a month. It's visually differentiated. It's set up for long-term success. It's niched down. This is for a seller that's a cat lover that also wants, their kitty litter box to be stylish and fit seamlessly into their room, right? Because there's nothing more ugly than a cat litter box, that you have to hide in your bathroom or something. So this is an example of somebody that understands design and style and hits the benchmark at a minimum. And now imagine, this is just one size and one color. If you can rinse and repeat, your product ideas, and this seller I know sells at least 2 or 3 other colors, and I think another size. But I mean, imagine if you then go even further and you sell like the chrome version, or this almost looks like an Airstream. Like if you sold like an Airstream version. So the idea here in this last point is differentiated and room for a brand set up for long-term and sustainable growth, so that you can rinse and repeat in the same category. And just a quick side note on that, I actually have a friend that sells 2 products that are virtually identical except for their color, but he sells them under 2 different brands. And the reason it's in the fitness category, the reason is because one product is tailored towards female buyers, and he has a way higher conversion rate when he is focusing his attention on a particular target demographic. And then the other product is just like the black version, basically, with different packaging and different branding, 2 different brands selling the exact same product. So that's just like another creative way to think about this as well. Like, how can you sort of dominate a niche within a niche? That's what we're looking for.
Another thing I want to mention here, Darren, is that you can notice that this is just a cat litter box that is designed really, really well, but they've actually been able to price their product because of this at $110. There's not many cat litter boxes, I don't think, out there that you'd be able to comfortably ask for $110 for. So this at 30% margin, this would not cost them $30 to make. So they would be making really, really good margins on a product like this. So that's something to keep in mind. If you differentiate enough, show it in your images, do amazing branding, like Adam says, you can put that price up really, really high so that you can be profitable on Amazon.
Yeah. This seller has to do basically 3 sales a day to make almost $11,000 a month. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an important concept, and at any point, feel free to screenshot these slides. Let me move our heads over here. Actually, that's better. So this is the Niche Rater method. We're going to be also distributing the slides after this presentation as well, in case you want to go back and check it. But the Niche Rater method is how we validate product opportunities on Amazon. We take into account 4 main categories. And the average score for each category, or all categories together, makes up the niche score. So Josh and I will go back and forth. I'll start with demand. Demand is simply how often people are searching for the product and how often are people buying the product. So this is a no-brainer, but people need to be interested in your product, and they also need to know, what search terms to use to find it. So we are, again, looking for sales volume between 10 and 20,000, even higher is better, but $10,000 minimum. And what that means for search volume is usually a healthy medium to medium strong search volume is around like the 4,000 to 6,000 monthly search mark. I usually am looking for anything over 2,000 searches, because you have to remember, people are gonna. There's a lot of different search terms that people can use to find any given product. So, search volume should be taken into account on your main buyer search term. And we look for around 4,000 to 6,000 searches.
Cool. The other super important, The other super important aspect to take into mind is competition. So if a category is too competitive to get into, there's way too many reviews, or all the listings have amazing, reliable education standard listings, it's going to be really hard for you to stand out. So what are we looking for when it comes to competition? We're looking for how many reviews this top sellers have. So inside of the Chrome extension, we can filter by reviews, and we don't want to see too many sellers there with over 1,000 reviews. We might want to see 1, 2, and we really don't want to see a lot over 500 either. So we want to see a spread along the whole of page 1 of sellers that have under 500 reviews that are still selling well. And then what we want to do is go and look at the sellers that have under 100 reviews and make sure that they're still making revenue as well. So if the sellers that are under 100 reviews are making no revenue, that means that as you as a new seller, when you come in and compete, it's going to be really hard for you to take that chunk of revenue off those top few guys that have all the reviews. Why is it important to think about how many reviews a seller has, your competition has? Is the review rate on Amazon is on average around 2 to 3%. So that means for every 100 sales, you're only making 2 reviews. Every 1,000 sales, you're making 20 reviews. 10,000 sales, 200 reviews. So it's going to take you a long time to get up to that 1,000 review mark. And you need to take into consideration how well optimized are these sellers. Are their listings, do they look like they're up to the reliable education standard? Are they amazing photography? Are they keywording off the chart? Have they got are they just really, really hard to compete with? You want to be looking for those niches where you go onto the page and the page just sort of looks bland. There might be one seller that's standing out, doing really well and making a lot of sales. And then to you, that's a indication that you could get in there, do something similar and start taking some of those sales.
Perfect. And the third point is investment. We need to know, approximately what are we going to invest to stay in stock in this category, and B, is that going to be a responsible business decision to invest once we have that number? The goal is to set yourself up again for long-term sustainable growth, and you don't want to make a risky decision where all of a sudden you have, say, $40,000 or $50,000 to invest on Amazon, and that's what it's going to cost to buy stock for the first 3 months. You're throwing all of your eggs in one basket, and so for us, we look for a launch budget sweet spot of around like 12 to 20K. There's no one size fits all. Every product category is different. All the cost of goods for various products on Amazon is different. But that to us is around the average mark for what you can expect to invest for your first 3 months of stock. Why is that important? Well, 3 months gives you enough time to reorder, understand your sales velocity, and reach back out to your supplier, and get product back into Amazon's fulfillment centers before you run out, which is key.
Cool. And the last step is potential. What potential does this product have to make a meaningful difference? So if you have a product that's priced at $10 on a 30% margin, that's before PPC. That means you've got $3 to work with. No matter how many, like if you made hundreds of sales, you're still going to be making a really low profit. So you're going to have to make tens of thousands of sales to see a meaningful difference and a meaningful amount of profit come into your pocket. So that the whole idea is to be able to make Amazon a supplement to your income or replace your income. It's a lot easier to do it with a product that's over $25, where that profit margin is at least $8 per unit. You're just getting more bang for your buck. So every sale you're making $8 per unit, you can put $2 or $3 into PPC or in marketing of some sort, and then that $5 is profit to either reinvest or go into your pocket. And what percentage of page one could you realistically capture? That is like what I was talking to before. If we're looking on page one and we're seeing the top 3 sellers making up 90% of all the sales, and then from there, the other sellers are just making up scraps, essentially. They're not really making a lot of sales. That might mean that category just has a certain, the buyers are just looking for the certain products. They're not really searching down the page for other options, and it could be really hard for you to get in there. So you need to look on there. How much demand is there for this product? Can I price it at a high enough amount where I can make some meaningful profit on the back end to really scale this business? Yeah. Sweet. And another thing that I want to mention just before we get ahead, I know this question will come up. With competition, if we're looking at this niche score yellow line, the higher the better. So with the niche score, every percentage higher is better for you. So if the competition opportunity score was 70%, that's a really, really good. That means that the competition is low competition.
Awesome. Cool. So, and then just a little bit of a key down here as well, some of the numbers, especially if you're unfamiliar with doing product research, you're very new to this. These are the metrics that you want to just keep an eye out for. And ZonGuru's tool suite makes these very, very easy to find. But that's the estimated revenue per month, how the search volume, which is monthly search volume, how many times are people typing in the keyword that you're looking at, reviews and review rate, which Josh just talked about, the listing score, which is a numerical score that ZonGuru gives to listings based on a number of factors, whether they have A+ branding on their site, whether they're optimized for the keyword that you're looking for, their review score, which is also scaled with a number of reviews, and then a bunch of other factors as well, number of photos they have if they have video. So, the listing score is a good metric to like Josh was saying, on the competition side of things, understand how seasoned the sellers are. Price, of course, niche score, and also the number of listings on page one as well. Amazon is A/B testing the number of listings that they show on page one, so it's important to just understand, what's the real estate look like? How many spaces and how many sellers are you going to be competing against on page one?
Yeah.
I want to just cruise through this really quickly so that we can get into the demo. Move this down here. So the last point is differentiation. And again, this was covered at length between Adam, John, Jan Hutton, and everybody else over the weekend. But this is a really important skill to just always keep in your mind. This is the first thing that Josh and I think about when we're looking at a product opportunity is what can we do to make it better and create a clear answer to the question, why would somebody choose my product over the competition? You have to have an answer to that. You can't just be selling the exact same thing that other sellers are selling on with different photos and different branding. You have to go a little bit deeper. How can you visually differentiate? How can you functionally differentiate? This is a great example because this seller does a lot of things right. They, created a visually unique product. It's shaped like an avocado. It's functionally different because the pit actually pops out and is a beach ball itself. There's scale shown in the photo and a person shown in the main buyer photo. So right away, the potential customer can connect with, it humanizes the product. And then, if I could show you the listing, I'm not going to, but the seller also has A+ branding. They do everything right. It's an example of a pool floaty done in a unique way. And that's why it's a good example.
And like mentioned at the summit, you need to be able to show everyone's attention on the internet is super, super small. So you need to convey as much information in that first image as possible. So you need to be able to show what are the pain points that your product is fixing in an amazing image in that hero image. So this is obviously the one on the right here. You don't really know how big it is. It's just a pink floaty. The one on the left, like Darren was saying, the size of it. It's like a cooler product for one. You can tell that beach ball comes out. You can use it as a ball. But what other pain points could you possibly figure out for your product and make sure you show it in that hero image?
Perfect. Cool. So Josh, if you want to share your screen real quick, I think it's really important that we cover this. Josh is going to be going through the product research tracking sheet that he's put together. This is a wonderful resource for you, designed to make sure that you can track your progress through product research. And the idea here is everybody should be focusing on filling out a row before the end of day 3 training.
All right, guys. So before we even start, like I said, please download the link that I applied in the chat there, the sticky link. It should be at the top. Before we even start, we need to
Sorry, Josh, real quick. I just want to jump in. You don't need to download it. You just need to make a copy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Perfect.
So you just need to click on that.
Hey, Josh, I think I accidentally turned your audio off. You might just need to unmute yourself. There you go. Sorry about that.
All good.
That was
my bad. Hear me again?
Yeah.
Good?
We can hear you. Yep, you're good.
All right, I'll start again. So make sure we click on that link in the sticky notes in the chat there. And from there, we want to click File, make a copy comments, and then save it somewhere in your drive. If you don't have a Google account, here's how you can create a free Google account. And then there's some useful information on how to use this checklist for later linked here. There's also some things to keep in mind when you're performing product research down here. And at the end, we have a checklist where we want to put your ASIN in, and then you want to write in yes or no, depending on whether you answer all of these questions. If you write, for example, yes, the column will go green. If you say no, the column will go red. And we want to see a lot of green in there, obviously. But the most important part about this is the opportunity identifier. So this is where we're going to go through and put down all of the data points of our product. So this is so we're not making emotional decisions on the product that we're choosing. And we want to put in, so we have our main keyword here, our niche score. If you can see here we've got a niche score of 68. Anything above 55 becomes green. We have a search volume here, and we want to see a lot of green. If we see orange, that means it's just outside of that perfect threshold. If you see red, it's maybe a product that it might not necessarily be a bad product, but this aspect of the product could be improved. This is the keywords dollars generated. We're going to put in our average revenue, average reviews, average price, average units, ZG launch. And we're going to show you how to do all this once we get a bit further along here. We're going to describe how we're going to make this product stand out, what customers are loving and hating about the product. We can also see down here some keywords that we may want to target, what our profit margins are, and these links up here, we can figure out whether our product is standard or oversized. Here will take us to a profit calculator where you can see exactly the profit margins that your product could make. And over here we have a air freight and sea freight calculator. Now, I'm not going to go through each one. I do have a full tutorial on this. We're going to describe it all a little bit later, but this is a really good place for you to write down all of your product ideas, have those data points, so that when you go to your mastermind and say, okay, this herb starter indoor kit is a product I'm looking at launching, and this is why. And then you can show them the actual numbers. That way we have those ideas out of our head on the sheet, so we can show them, like Adam said, in his summit talk, he showed us the numbers, the projected income, things like that. So he's not making emotional decisions. He knows it's going to work because of the numbers. And that's why you want to use something like this.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. I just want to say this, all of the things that were created and distributed before this demonstration, whether it was the perfect product e-guide or the checklist that Josh put together, as a labor of love, it designed by sellers who, want to just make sure that you have all of the knowledge that we have being in this space for a long time. So that checklist is super, super cool. And I hope you guys do use it because it's very, very valuable. And again, the goal is hopefully we're going to be, maybe checking in with some people and running some polls. We want to know how many people filled this out by day 3. And maybe we'll reward the people that, filled out at least one row, because it's really important. It goes back to what he was talking about with the tips.
You're going to have homework. So
yeah,
definitely have at least one row filled out as much as we do by the end of today. That's the plan.
Perfect. Sweet. So let's just go back to the presentation. I think now it's time. Yeah, it's time for the demo. Before we do the demo, let me stop the slide presentation. I want to read the chat really quick. How's this feeling so far? Right now, what we've done is we've just touched on all of the things that we're looking for. Right now, we're going to see how this works using the tools in a second. But I think we've set in the first half hour a solid foundation for some of the things that we're looking for and how we validate ideas. We feeling pretty good about this. Just big yes in the chat. Don't worry, there's going to be a replay. If you're brand new to this and you're feeling a little like we're moving a little fast, you can rewatch the replay. But hopefully we just get a bunch of yeses in the chat that you guys are following us and there are no tech issues as well. Just a reminder, here in the United States, we're on lockdown. So I'm working from home and I'm fingers crossed that my home internet stays with us for the full hour. Awesome, guys. Good. Thank you for the participation in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, loving it, guys. Makes it a lot easier when if there was hundreds of people not making any noise in the chat. That would be pretty awkward for us.
Yeah. Cool. And so cool to see some familiar names in there. Awesome. All right, guys. So it's my turn to share my screen. Not that. So we are going. What was that?
That is a good image, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this corny guy. Okay, guys. So as I'm sure most of you, hopefully everyone in this audience is familiar with this brand new tool, and you have hopefully been getting in there, jumping in, using it, running searches. I'm gonna just really, really quickly cover this tool and like the nuances of it. But as always, you can view our interactive tour or the video tutorial if you need more help after this video. But I really want to get as quickly as I can into the advanced mode, because this is how we found so many good products last night. You basically have two main views, easy mode and advanced mode. With easy mode, you let Zonguru basically choose products for you based on our own filters that we think might best suit you. So you would choose the categories that you want us to look at, and then whether or not you're an easy starter, you're a business builder, or a big hitter. And basically, we're going to adjust in the back end the filters that we've been experimenting with that we think will reflect and show you the products that fit with these these various categories. The idea with the easy mode is, of course, just to get the creative juices flowing. Once you know what you're looking for and you begin to have a little bit more of a taste for the product research that best fits your business needs, I recommend you move over to advanced mode, because this is where you're going to be able to have a lot more creativity with your filters. So we're going to just dive right into the demo. We have a product selected, but I want to show you the filters that I used. And there's a list of potential products, one of which, again, is actually so good that we didn't want to show it to you, because Josh and I are going to consider collaborating on a product launch together. And
Darren did want to show it to you guys, but I got a little bit too excited about this product, and I was like, nah, can't show it, Darren. we're on here.
Yeah, so super exciting. But yeah, so these are the filters that you have at your disposal. A lot of this is why we did the presentation. We want to make sure that you know what these things mean. But you can filter buyer demand, competition opportunity, investment sweet spot, and revenue potential. What are those? That's the Niche Rater method, and it makes up the niche score. Now, for this search, I just used the niche score metric. I just wanted to see 50 to 100. I know that if I expand the niche score to 50 to 100, that I'm going to see a majority of products that are quality. I'm not going to see a bunch of kind of random junky products. So that's why I set the niche score between that range. And then I left everything else open on this side because I wanted to get very particular with these filters over here. I felt like this, just for me, because I'm familiar with which products are going to show up with different metrics selected, I trust these ones just a bit more. So I did a minimum search volume of 2,000, a minimum revenue of 10,000. So these hit our our minimum benchmarks for demand, and then average reviews
that we're talking about. Yeah.
What was that?
This is that niche rater method. This is the criteria that we use for the niche rater method. That's why we're inputting all these certain values.
Exactly. Average sales I left open because I'm more concerned with the money that I'm going to make, less the number of units I'm going to sell, because that can be a little bit variable depending on the price of your unit. We saw that kitty litter box, that person just needs to sell less than 100 units a month and they do $10,000. Average reviews, I put a max at 300. This weans out those seasoned sellers and keeps the competition a little bit lower. And then I set the launch budget a little bit high at 30,000, and then an average price range between $25 and $50. So those are the filters that I used. I actually just only picked two categories, home and kitchen and dining, mainly because I was kind of inspired after Adam's presentation and Primal Kitchen. I was thinking, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if we could find some kitchen goods to kind of continue that lesson. But we actually found something different than a kitchen accessory. So I think you guys are going to like what we found. Now, as I scroll through here, you can see our list of products. I sorted by niche score. So we know we get those super high quality products up at the top, but that's not to say that anything down lower than the top of the page is not quality, because you'll see in a second the product that
sorry guys, to sort by niche score, all you have to do is click on the title there. Any of these columns, you can sort the keywords by the column depending on which title you click on.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, you can see here, I love this product's idea, the red carpet runner. I'm like 2 miles away from Hollywood, California. So it's so fitting for us, this is like red carpet central. So I'm just going to open a few of these, just to give you a feel for the types of products that you find, and just really give you a feel for the high level of creativity that this tool just instantly sparks. There's no way that I would have thought that people could sell red carpets on Amazon, and the average seller could make $25,000 a month, or that you could sell candy dispensers and be the average seller that makes $12,000 a month. Or fake gold bars. Like there's a lot of very interesting products here. There was one that I actually thought, this one's very interesting for weddings, proms, quinceañeras, these chair sashes. I've never even seen this in my life. And it's an interesting product with some
super small, super light. You could make it very visually differentiated. And they're selling for around $40 or $30 to $40 per unit. So it's there's a lot of there'd be a lot of room for profit there. I can't imagine the cost of goods of those would be too high.
Yeah. So you can just see here, this is what we were doing last night. We were just opening products, niches, and just kind of discussing what our thoughts were, opening it up in the Chrome extension, which we'll do in a second, and validating the data. But there's so many ideas at our disposal. Let's just go right to the product that we're going to be focusing on for the rest of the training. And that is this vinyl record storage. Now, maybe it's just because I'm interested in vinyl records. I actually just purchased a vinyl record storage display a few months ago, and I understand this space, which I think is important because it allows you to have a lot more creative juices flowing and understand your potential customer persona better. But also, when I was looking on Amazon, and we'll open up the Amazon listing page in a second, we ended up not buying on Amazon because everything was just kind of bad. I'll open this up in a second, but there was not a whole lot of creativity and not a lot of products that would have seamlessly fit into our living room, which was the idea. A lot of people that buy vinyl records nowadays are kind of stylish people. They have maybe an interest in having some decent interior design, and so we wanted to find a good looking product, and there aren't very many on Amazon right now. So I knew when I saw this that this was going to be a potential winner. We'll validate that and see if it is in a second. But do you have anything you want to add real quick before I show them how to open this up in the Chrome extension?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's really powerful here what you can do, how quickly you can open the niche rater, and you get, as Darren's moving his cursor over all the values there, each click you're pretty much running a Chrome extension search, and you can see the values at a glance of these products. So you can quickly just scan through. It's not like you have to go onto Amazon, run a heap of different searches, wait for the Chrome extension to load. You run this one search, you see all these interesting products. You can filter by the highest niche score, which is amazing. We're always looking for that niche score that's super high. So now you can scroll through, find the ones that you like, red carpet or something like this, go through and go, okay, I haven't heard of this product before. This could be interesting. What are they selling? What's their average price? How many reviews do the competition have? And then we can start adding it to the checklist. But I think we're going to jump over to the niche rater now.
Sweet. So I already have it opened up in the niche rater, guys. But just so you know, you can click on these three dots here, and you can either favorite a product, you can send it to another tool. We'll focus on this a little bit more tomorrow, or you can add it in and open it in the Chrome extension. So if you just click on this button here, it'll pull up this search result right into the Chrome extension.
Do you want to show them how to how to save the whole search?
Oh yeah, good idea. So also, if I wanted to save these filters here and come back to it, all I would need to do is click on filters and then save filter as, and I could just say, great home and kitchen ideas. And
this will save you. This will save you from running extra sessions that you don't need to use. Yeah,
exactly. Because you do have, depending on the plan that you're on, a limit to the number of searches that you can run with this tool per month.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've kind of are following our nose, we're following our gut a little bit. And now it's time to really dive into the data and understand is this space viable? It's time to validate the data. So we've used the niche finder so far, and now it's time to use the niche rater. Now, before we look at the niche rater, I just want to scroll through and just give you a feel for the types of products that we're seeing. We're seeing some like furniture items. We're going to try to steer clear of that so we can keep our cost of goods and our storage fees low. We're seeing these kind of ugly crates. This doesn't even look like it's made of wood. This is like a plastic resin. And then we see these really not good looking like wood acrylic mixtures as well. And then we see some like some storage containers also. So, like, look at this. This is, basically without the records in it, it probably looks like a monolith. For a lot of people, this isn't like a very stylish option for their living room. I actually like this product. It's kind of a cool idea. It's almost like a smaller mobile container for probably DJs that are bringing their records to their venues. And then we see, like the foldable, kind of cheaper, collapsible storage boxes. But I mean, look, this kind of lighter maple color, this doesn't necessarily speak to the persona that I would be after when looking at this type of product. And then as I scrolled, this one caught my eye. It's not an amazing product, but it's simple and it's visually differentiated, and it looks very sturdy and unbreakable. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, I think that this could be, a style worth pursuing. And so what we're gonna be doing for the kind of the rest of the weekend is validating similar ideas we're going to be validating this style and seeing if we can do it better. But before we do that, I just want to also point out, it looks like, a few different sellers sell this triangle version. And I think that we could make and take this style and really make it 10 times better. Before we do that, why don't we, if you want to just cover off this information real quick, what do you see when you're looking at the Chrome extension data that we're looking at here?
Sure. So one thing I need to mention before we look at this data, we may be seeing some different values to what we saw in the niche finder. So you got to remember, the niche finder is a huge tool bringing in so much data. We can't run that data instantly on the day because it would just take too long to load. So we load the data for the niche finder periodically. And so that's why we use the niche finder to generate ideas, and then the Chrome extension to validate them. So that's why we're seeing slightly different niche scores and search volumes for these for the vinyl holders, because the Chrome extension is looking today's results. We're seeing here a niche rater of 66, niche score of 66%. Anything over around a 55% is good. 60 is really good. 65 is great, and anything over 70 is like that excellent product. It is just a guide, though. It just means look into this product further. We can see it's a nice even spread. So we have an even spread of demand, competition, and potential. And the investment sweet spot is really high, because if we look across at our launch budget on the far right, it's at 11,000. And remember, our launch budget that we're looking for is around that 12K mark. If we go back to search volume, we can see a search volume of 9,916. So this is the exact amount of searches that someone has typed in vinyl record storage on Amazon in the last month. And we are getting this because we are a trusted partner of Amazon, and our developers are just super geniuses. So they're actually looking back, and we know that this is the exact search volume. So this is really, really powerful data that only ZonGuru has access to.
Yeah, I just want to drill this in for a second, because maybe some people that aren't in the space may have missed this information, but our competitors are like most our closest competitors have actually recently lost access to a lot of the key pieces of data that would allow you to make really data-driven decisions. But our developers have developed systems that allow us to still access that information. So while our competitors are kind of guessing based on the historical trends that they've gathered over, you know, a few years of their tools being active. We are still getting a direct feed of data straight from Amazon, which is, you know, just quite frankly, like a very obvious reason why our tools are better.
Yeah, and you're in the right spot. Cool. So then we're looking across, we can see the average monthly sales is 288, 286, which means there is a demand for this product. The average price, $56, which is above our $25 minimum range. We can see the average reviews is 191. I can see someone mentioned in there before that one of the products had high reviews. So we're really looking at the average reviews across the whole landscape of this field. And the average reviews on the whole of page one is 191, which is super low. It's pretty hard to find any category with less than 200 reviews as average. We can see their rating of 4.3. There's a lot of room for improvement there. And the monthly revenue that the average product in here is generating is $17,000. For a category that has less than 200 reviews as average and a monthly revenue of $17,000, that's pretty awesome. You don't really see that. So low competition and high demand, and that's really interesting to see. So the next thing that we mentioned is we want to have a look and see what our competition is doing. We've filtered by reviews. We can see we've only got one competitor over 1,000 reviews. So that's okay. It's not like, it's pretty hard to find any categories that are worthwhile getting into on Amazon with less than that. And as we go down, we can see a big spread of the sales across the whole category. We can see customers, we can see listings with 20 reviews, all doing 5K. But what this is really telling us in the revenue is that customers are willing to scroll down the page and look for products that don't have a whole heap of reviews and purchase those. So we're seeing low reviews and sales across all these products, which means for you, if you come into this category, you create a really unique idea. It's not going to take you many reviews to start making sales. Customers in this category are willing to purchase products that don't have such a big track record with reviews and high rankings.
Absolutely. Yeah, perfectly done. Cool. So, you know, hopefully this is making sense. I think maybe this would be a good time for us to fill out the spreadsheet with some of these numbers.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
and then the next thing that we're going to do, guys, is we're running a little bit over. Hopefully you guys don't mind us going a little over an hour. We're going to show, I've already created a bit of like a mood board on Pinterest. I'm going to show you some of the products that are amazing off of Amazon to give us some ideas and inspiration around really improving this product and making it better. And then, you know, obviously tomorrow we're going to be focusing on actually sourcing the product using our brand new Easy Source tool. So hopefully you guys are still loving this and still engaged. We're approaching an hour, so I hope that, you know, we got our coffees loaded up and we're ready to keep going.
All right. So what we're doing now is we're going through the checklist. We're in the Opportunity Identifier tab. And now I'm going to go across each of the headings that we're up to at this stage. And I'm going to ask Darren what the values are, and I'm going to fill them out. So Darren's going to show you exactly where you can find each of the values on Amazon or in ZonGuru.
Perfect.
So Darren, what is the niche score for vinyl record storage?
We have got a 66%.
66, that's a green. Search volume?
Search volume is 9916.
9916. Cool. All right. What is the average revenue on page one?
Average revenue is 17,038. God damn, I wish I was selling one of these.
Average reviews.
Average reviews is only 191.
Awesome. Average price.
Average price is $56.46.
Cool. Average units.
Average monthly sales is 286.
Cool. Okay.
Sweet.
That is about it for now. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, cool. Why don't you? I'll stop sharing my screen and you share yours real quick, and we'll just take a look at what the spreadsheet looks like. I wanted to show you guys where I was finding those numbers, and then we'll take a look at what the spreadsheet looks like now.
Cool. All right, so I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can't hear me. Awesome. All right, so we're inside of the opportunity identifier. We've got our main keyword here, vinyl record storage. If you've just found to make sure that of this, you will want to run a keywords on fire session and see what the highest search volume keyword is that best describes your product. We're going to go with vinyl record storage here. But these are all the values that we've just filled out. So we had a niche score of 66%, which is in our threshold. We have a search volume of 9,916, which is also inside of our threshold. The keywords dollars generated, we'll need to get that from inside of Keywords on Fire. Average revenue of 17,038, average reviews of 191, average price of 56.46, and average units of 286. So this is all we can fill out for now. The rest are going to take a few more tools and a bit more of a deep dive. But from these initial numbers, we can see all green here, better than the example product that I already had loaded up there. So this is definitely a product that we want to look into further. And we can just see that at a quick glance. So now we know that this product is worth looking into further. And we're not just guessing and making an emotional decision.
Awesome. Nicely done. Cool. And yeah, guys, obviously this will be the common thread. So we'll have that entire row filled out probably by the end of the day tomorrow during tomorrow's training. So if you can follow along and once this presentation is done, go in and do some product research yourself and fill in those cells, you're going to be in a great place to continue on tomorrow. So please take action.
Just a note, Darren, we've had a few questions about this. So you will need a Google account. And inside of the spreadsheet, I'm just going to share my screen again.
Cool.
If you come across to the bottom tab, we can click on.
Let me 1 second. Let me move us out of the way.
Sure.
Okay.
Click before you start, create a free Google account. And then we need to log into that Google account so that when you're in this spreadsheet, that your Google account is showing up here. Then we want to click File, make a copy, copy comments. Just make sure, please do not comment on the actual spreadsheet. Otherwise, it's going to pop up for everyone. So that's just one thing to note. Please do not actually comment on this. If you have any questions about it, just reach out to us. But if there's an issue where you can't click make a copy, chances are you don't have a Google account and you're not logged in.
Perfect. Cool. All right, guys. So I think the last couple things that we're going to take a look at are we're going to see what's on Pinterest and see if we can generate some ideas to really improve this product. Because right now we've validated the info, but we don't have really a clear product that answers that differentiation question of why would somebody, like Josh was saying, scroll past the seller that has 1,100 reviews and pick somebody else that's a little less seasoned. With this type of product, because it's sort of in the furniture space, I think design and connecting with a particular persona is going to be critical. And then we'll also look at the seasonality with some of the top sellers as well. So
you want to know your avatar. You want to know what they have around their house. How can you match your product up with the other items that are in their house? Really name your avatar, write down what their hobbies are, write down what they're doing on the weekend, really get to know them. That way you can make more, check out their Instagram pages, check out their Pinterest tabs. You never know, they might have one of these pictures posted in their Pinterest feed. So
that's right.
Really get to know your avatar so that you can make an educated decision on what your product should look like.
Perfect. So I've added a few different styles here, and I'll just talk through really quickly why I chose some of these products. I chose a couple of products that sort of have a little bit more of a feminine feel. With even just the way that they lay out the images here. Sorry about that. You can still hear me, right, Josh?
Yep, you're all good, mate.
Okay, cool. With the pink Crosley, the rug, like this just has like a little bit more of a female or feminine aesthetic. Let's go back to the board.
Do you just want to pause for a second, guys? Can you all let me know in the chat if you can still all hear and see us okay? Just a couple people will be fine.
I think we should be all right. I think that page just stuttered real quick, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
Are we getting some yeses? Yep. Okay, cool.
Yep. Perfect. All right, guys.
Awesome. Wonderful. Cool. And so then I also chose, a product. This is very, very simple. We could do better than this, but we have a little bit more of a robust, almost industrial style. It's very, very straightforward, straight lines at 45-degree angles. This isn't elegant, but this would probably suit, male demographic, probably in their early to mid 20s, getting their vinyl record collection off the ground.
You can probably price it a little bit higher because you can store a lot more records. So it's like it's the bulk item.
Right, and you could do two different styles, right? You could do the 2-story one or a single story as well. So and I actually also think that it's quite interesting the way that the records sit at a 45-degree angle as well. I wonder if it would be hard to read the bridge of the record, which is how usually you choose it. Like I wouldn't want to have to lean down to choose the records, but it's again, what we're trying to do here is just find a style that we like, and then we're going to try to find a supplier that can source this style. I also like this. I think that was a
really interesting point that you just mentioned there, Darren is an avatar of this product. He really knows this product. He's interested in vinyl records. And he said, I don't think I'll be able to read the bridge. I have no idea what a bridge is. I've never had a vinyl record in my life. But when creating a product like this, I would never have thought of that. So that's why you really need to know who your avatar is and what they are looking for in a product. Really get to know what that product, what is the pain points that this product could potentially have and how can you fix it. So that was a super interesting point that Darren just brought up accidentally.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. By the way, this is what's called use the internet to spark an idea. I couldn't help myself. I had to scroll down because I actually hadn't seen a few of these. So we'll stay focused here. But we have another style here. A crossing style that collapses with a leather band. This has some drawbacks. I think that this wouldn't be very good for your records to sit like this. But it is very stylish, and if maybe you have, this would be one that you could set next to your couch or something, with some of your favorite selections, that you rotate into your record player often. I'll kind of cover these a little bit quicker now. I liked this style. It's almost like an industrial feel with like PVC piping, probably very, very simple to source. And again, I mean, you probably can construct this with no tools except for maybe a screwdriver, and you just pop the pieces together. The idea with all of these is to make sure that your cost of goods are low and your fees through Amazon to store and fulfill your products are also low. So all of these products would ideally arrive at the customer's doorstep deconstructed and be very simple to put together. I actually think that I fairly recently purchased something similar to this, and it arrived in a flat box that was about this size. And it, a small bag of screws, and you put it together and it was done. And then one last style that I kind of like one last thing that I liked when I was looking at the mood board and looking at what other people buy, are these organizers. This is a great example of an item that you could use to bundle. People like to alphabetically sort their records, and these are very cool. They look like they're laser etched with the alphabet, so you can pop those into your records and make it easy to find your favorite artist. Anything you want to add here on the just kind of where we're going, where our thought process is with the creativity and just kind of getting a feel for how we're going to, like, the style that we're going to source?
Sure. So like I was saying, getting to know your avatar or who your customer is, and then really figuring out what they would like in their house. One thing I'm looking at, because I'm thinking in the Amazon mindset, how can we get one of these bigger products that we can charge a lot more money for and make sure that we can, is there a way that we could flat pack them? Could we make them a 3-piece? For example, these at the top 2 that are in the middle, they're a big construction, but they look really cool. Like they would be really cool inside of your house as a complete stand. Could you make them in 3 pieces, do it as like an IKEA flat pack essentially, and that way you're saving on shipping costs. That way you're saving on oversize, and things like that. And then I would be even going, you can see where Darren is here. He's got that Urban Outfitters. Okay, so Urban Outfitters are obviously selling this. They've got 1.8 or 1.6 million followers. I would go onto Urban Outfitters page there and try and see who are the avatars, who are the customers that Urban Outfitters have. Go in there, see who the customers are, see what they like, see what their tastes are. Maybe even create an Instagram page and start following a lot of them, and seeing if you can get a lot of follows back and create polls and ask them questions, things like that. So there's lots of things. You just got to get that. Like Adam was saying, the kids have no boundaries to what ideas they could have. So there's nothing stopping you creating an Instagram page, following all 1.6 million of them and getting a few follows back and start creating polls or creating a page around this, and then letting them spark the ideas of what your product should be. So there's plenty of options out there, just as long as you don't have some tunnel vision, to try and think a bit outside the box.
Perfect. Yeah. And then one other thing that comes to mind for me is just, you can see that they're already doing that in this photo, but the way that they're using accessories would make branding this product really fun. You can buy a floral record player. I'm not a big fan of Crosley's, but you could buy this, like, they're clearly, and also I think that you can buy Crosley's from Urban Outfitters as well. So they're doing a really good job of synergizing multiple products that you can purchase from their storefront into one photo. But also, just like even in the records that they've selected here, you can see an Adele record down here. I'm sure all of these were handpicked by the photographer. That, it's the little details here that go a long way in getting your connecting with your avatar. I'm sure every single one of these records was probably selected with their avatar in mind. The accessories that you see around the edges of the product as well. The color of the
just
paint.
From this image, I'm sure that Darren can picture this record holder in his hipster bedroom. So it's just input perfectly into, say, that young 20-year-old's bedroom. It's got the right lighting. It's got all it's just perfectly set out to be able to picture in your mind exactly how you could use the product. Exactly.
So guys, we're going a little bit long, so I want to cover the last thing a little bit quickly. We're going to be looking into the past using Sales Spy. Hopefully this has been super, super valuable for you so far. Just the way that our minds kind of work. I also want to point out, this is just scratching the surface of the type of information you would get if you signed up for Platinum Partners or you're working with Reliable Education. These are the things that we learned through the guys that run Platinum and run Reliable Education. So if you're not familiar with that, if somehow you're in this audience and you haven't checked out Reliable Education, you should absolutely do that, because I was mentored by John and Adam. And, I wouldn't have been able to figure any of this stuff without them. So I just wanted to make sure to plug them real quick.
And it is the benefit of being in a mastermind. Like Darren and I are talking about going into business together, but you can already see that we're bouncing ideas off each other. We talk about ideas together and we expand the product into being something a lot bigger and a lot better and a lot more achievable than if I was just by myself. Like my first product was a bit of a fail because I was tunnel vision. I was like, just do it all my own way. Didn't know the customer, didn't know anything, and it just didn't really work out that well. Made a lot of sales, but wasn't profitable. And if I had that mastermind, if I had that support group, they would have told me, Josh, bad idea, go back to the drawing board, and I would have saved myself a lot of money. So it's really, really important to have that support group around you to help you along this journey, because it is a long one by yourself.
Yeah, I wish I would have known you back then, mate.
You could have told me.
Okay, so why don't we just really quickly, I'm just going to explain this, and then Josh, you can talk through one of the graphs. So right now we are inside of SalesSpy. So just to recap, we understood what the metrics are that we're looking for and what the numbers and the different data points mean. We used the niche finder to generate an idea. We generated probably about 10 ideas, but we've followed one using the Chrome extension and really analyzed the competitive landscape and the demand for that product and understood what it's going to cost to launch, what our potential profit margin might be. We also went into the product checklist and we began to track our progress and really created some actionable steps as we did our research. And then we created a mood board and began to think about how we could potentially make these products better and kind of style them and some of the things that we're going to look for when we look to source this product. So the last thing I want to look at really quickly is SalesSpy, and just so you guys know, the SalesSpy tool, you can add individual ASINs or you can add multiple ones separated by commas, and we will show you the historical sales for the products over time. So you can really understand the seasonality of products, and then also when sellers tend to run out of stock. I'm going to open up a few of these graphs, and maybe Josh, you can just, why don't you just start with this one and just kind of talk through what you notice here?
Sure. So the first thing I'm looking at is just straight away, I'm looking at the graph. I want to see if this product is seasonal or not. Here we can see that this product has a huge spike around that Christmas time. It is obviously a very giftable item, probably has huge upside when it comes to Christmas time. But throughout the rest of the year, it sells pretty well. The yellow graph is the revenue that it's making. As Darren scrolls over, you can see the actual revenue that they're making each day. The blue jagged line is the BSR. The BSR stands for bestseller ranking. And this works as an inverse to the revenue usually. So the lower the BSR, which if Darren goes up to the top, we can see is 75,225 up. Up there. So that's the just in the heading there. So yeah. So this product is a 75,225 product in all of like home and kitchen. So those big product categories are all ranked, and every product has a rank in there. And the closer you are to one, the more eyes are seeing your product, the more sales you're making. So you want to get that number as low as possible. We also want to scroll down. We can see when this product was launched. We want to see lots of products that were launched in the last 1-2 years and are still making sales, because that means that if you launch, this is how many units you possibly and how many sales you can expect to make. There's another little white jagged line you can see, and that is the amount of units per day they're making. So if you launched, say, in January 2021, and we want to have some history of what sales you could expect to start making, I might not look at this top one because he has a really big spike, and the next one down has a pretty steady growth. We want to look at a few. Yeah, we can see some big spikes around that January time. So we might want to say, okay, if my product is expecting to launch in January, I may need to have some extra stock there at that time, because throughout the rest of the year, the sales are a bit lower. Let's have some extra stock for January so that we make sure we won't run out. But this is how you would inventory plan, and this is how you check if your product is seasonal. If you saw those huge spikes and then no sales on each end of the spike, that means it could be a Halloween product, it could be a summer product, could be a winter product, and so on. So make sure that when it comes to SalesSpy and you're really serious about a product, you're adding 10, 20 products, all the products on page one into SalesSpy. You can always delete them later to get your sessions back, but we want to make sure we're looking at the graphs and we're seeing consistency among the graphs. We're not making decisions off one product. We're making a decision off the whole category.
Perfect. Well done, Josh. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We've gone over by about 15 minutes. That's okay. I think we covered some really good information here. I see that most people actually stuck around, which I'm really happy for. Lots of questions about the replays. and also future training. Same time tomorrow, we're going to be starting day 2, which is going to be, we're still kind of fleshing out kind of the direction that we want to take it. We'll probably focus quite a bit on sourcing and using Easy Source, and then using Love Hate, and then also kind of really expanding this product idea, I think would be pretty cool. If you guys have any input or want us to focus on anything in that space, let us know. And then day 3, we're going to be focusing on listing optimization and keyword research. All sessions are at the same time each day. So tomorrow it'll be 4 p.m. local time for me. On the Gold Coast, that's 9 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then everybody should receive a replay in about 3 to 4 hours. It takes some time to render the file.
Sure.
So guys,
another question that pops up a little bit is some people are having problems with their downloading the sheets. Just mention me in a ticket at support@Zonguru, and I'll personally come and have a look and just figure out what's going on there. Chances are you're not logged into a Google account. I'll almost guarantee it. But just reach out to me at support@Zonguru, and I'll have a look into it and help you out. Brendan Emery, 1 a.m. in Scotland, and he's still here. That's awesome, Brendan.
My God,
great commitment. We love that. I hope the training was worthwhile.
Yeah. Hope you.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we can just open it up to Q&A. It's gonna be difficult if everybody asks questions all at the same time. We're probably gonna just pick and choose a few questions. We'll stick around for the next 10 or 15 minutes. But if people start to drop off, no worries. I want to say goodbye to those of you that may drop off before the Q&A. Thank you so much for attending. This is like the most social interaction I've had in the last 2 weeks dealing with this chat. It's been really nice sharing and talking with you guys. So thank you so much. And I think I probably speak for both Josh and I on that.
Okay, so quick one. Zoran asks, "Hey boys, awesome work as usual." Thanks, Zoran. Appreciate that. Quick one. Regards to sourcing agents. It pops up next to the Zonguru tab on Chrome. When clicked, it doesn't open.
When you click, well, maybe reach out to support. We can hop on a quick call and you can show us what you mean. We haven't experienced that issue. We were using the Easy Source tab last night on Google Chrome and didn't experience that issue. So maybe we can just see if there's some sort of maybe you're not clicking in the right place.
And if you're talking about a few of those tabs inside of the actual Easy Source tool that are grayed out at the top right, they are potential tools that are coming in the future, but they're not quite ready yet. So Easy Source is the only tab that'll open there.
Awesome. Again, Allison asked about the replay. You'll get a file, an email from us in a few hours. Let me know if you see any questions. I'm just scrolling down the line. Digby asks, how do I get all of those products in SalesBuy together? So you just need to find the ASIN, which you can find either in the URL or down in the product details, and you just enter it into the search bar inside of SalesBuy, and you can add them individually, or if you just comma separate them. So one ASIN, comma, space, next ASIN, comma, space. You can add, I think up to 15, 20, 30 at a time.
Another really easy way to add products into SalesBuy is when you're in the Chrome extension, the far right column has little yellow pluses. And if you click the little yellow plus, that'll quickly you might need to move our heads. That'll move the ASINs into SalesBuy. And if you want them to all to be listed together, make sure that you use a keyword in there to filter.
Can you see it here?
Yes. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, just like that, guys.
So Mike asks, do we need to be signed up for day 2 and day 3 to get the video recordings of those days?
I set up the settings so that if you register for day 1, you're also registered for day 2 and day 3. If I'll double check that should be the case. Everybody should be getting an email before we start tomorrow's session as well. So you should be okay.
Yeah. Brendan asks, I noticed a big drop in some niche scores recently compared to what I saw a little while ago. Is the niche score updated frequently? And could this be due to a drop in sales?
That's a great question. There's some nuance to this answer. The first is depends on which tool you're looking at. So Josh covered this a little bit, but with the Niche Finder tool, we update the niche score less frequently than the Niche Rater. The Niche Rater will update every time you run a search. So anytime you run a search and you pull up the Chrome extension, we'll show a fresh niche score based on the products that are appearing in that list the day that you're running the search. We've also had people reach out and be like, hey, my friend is running a search at the exact same time as me. We're getting different niche scores. Why is that? The reason for that could be a few things. Amazon A/B tests their page layouts all the time, which sometimes takes away or adds products depending on who's looking at the page at the particular time. And if there's less products, then we have less products to factor into the averages. The averages might be different. There also might be different products because keyword rank changes all the time. Sellers come into page one, sellers leave page one, and with different sellers, the averages and the data is going to be different as well. Now, speaking about like the issues with the virus and how this is affecting sales, I don't think that we have enough information right now to really give a clear answer to this. It's also very category specific. So whether you're selling consumables or essential items, 2 weeks ago, your sales might have tanked, but now are all of a sudden increasing again because Amazon has expanded the products on a case-by-case basis, deeming certain products essentials that were not a couple of weeks ago. So, it's important to realize that with these like weird times, there's going to be some effect, but you should be using tools like SalesSpy to kind of extrapolate the data and look at the historical sales, because we know that it's going to level out sooner rather than later. People need to continue to buy consumer goods, and if they can't go to their local store to do that, most people are going to be flocking to Amazon. One other note on that, Amazon saw a huge spike in Prime subscriptions. So we know that the marketplace has just gotten even bigger as well. People are going to Amazon to buy products.
Carrie Ann asks, slightly off topic, but how can we get access to the e-guide booklet? So that should have been sent to you in an email, but I'm just going to share my screen. It's also inside of our checklist here. So if you can see my screen now, we have our perfect product ebook as a link there. You can click on this link and be taken there straight away.
How cool is that ebook, guys? Our designer did like such an amazing job with it. 150 plus pages of like instructions and step-by-step guides, and then also 60 great examples of products that are just as good as the one that we just deep dove into.
So Pamela's asking, clicking on the graph icon on SalesSpy, she can only see the last few days of products. How do I see the graph further back? So again, I'll just quickly share my screen. We'll go into SalesSpy, and it's important to remember that SalesSpy works on a time based on the time frame that you have selected. So right here, we have a filter that you can filter either by a custom range, the last 1 year, 6 months, 30 days, and 7 days. So if I was to, let's just look at all these values here, including the price, including sales and revenue, and I'm going to change it to the last 30 days, and we'll see if any of these numbers change. So remember, even the price is $32.71. And we can see that the price changed to $29.50. So that means that during the last 1 year and the last 30 days, this seller has dropped their price to closer to $29.50. So it's the average price of this product over the last 30 days. That's why you're seeing the prices change. It looks like this seller has started selling a huge amount in the last 30 days. In the last 1 year, it's average. He's been averaging around 48,000. The last 30 days, around 60,000. So really interesting to keep in mind that. Looks like you added a couple of products. That's why you put me off there. I was looking at this one here. But yeah, we just want to, if we're looking at the products graph and we want to see how well they sell over a whole year, we want to be looking at the last 1 year. And this is how we check for seasonality. If we want to look at the last 30 days or the last 7 days, just to track how that product is going, or a custom range, you can do that inside of here. You can also choose what market you're going into there as well.
Perfect. Great question from Elise here, who asks, assuming having a knockout patent product that does not currently exist, do you recommend targeting very generalized keywords such as awesome fun gifts for a dad that has everything as an example, or is this risky? We are going to cover this at length on day 3. Day 3 is all about keyword research and listing optimization, and understanding the difference between short and long tail keywords, and understanding what metrics make a keyword really good, and maybe which ones are a little bit too competitive. And so we'll cover that at length in day 3, and you want to stay tuned for that.
Penny asks, is each ASIN a search, or is the search the whole findings? I think she's referring here to the niche finder. So you create a whole filter, and then when you click run search, that is classed as a search or a session. It doesn't matter how many products are in there. That's only one session. And remember to save it for later so you don't have to keep running the same one over and over again.
Sweet. Cool, guys. I think maybe we'll take 1 or 2 more questions if we get them quickly. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Josh and I have some work to do. I think we got to create a great presentation to follow up with this one. I think we did a good job. Hopefully you guys think so too.
Yeah, it was good.
And yeah. All right. Why the sales spy take more than 25 minutes to give him the information? It shouldn't take that long, Patricia. If you add a product and then you check back in a minute or 2 and you refresh your page, you just got to make sure to refresh your page. The data should load pretty quickly.
It depends. Sometimes so if you look on that certain product and you look to the left, there'll be a little green arrow. If you hover over that green arrow, it may say, just hang on a few minutes, we're retrieving the data. If this product sells really well and we haven't seen it before, it may take a little bit longer for us to drag in all the data. So that's why you're seeing that. If says whatever the issue is with it taking so long, it'll say in that little green exclamation triangle there.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us. Hope that you're excited for day 2. And remember, the whole goal with this presentation and the 3 days of training is to make sure that you're on a fast track to success. So that we're doing our part right now by guiding and showing. Make sure to take action. As soon as I hang up this call, if you have time, do some product research, use the niche finder, use the Chrome extension. We're going to be right here on support if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll talk soon, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye.
See you later.